And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I am joined once again by the beautiful Smokin Nicole. Jonathan Carney from La Flor Dominicana is not with us tonight, as he attends to another gourmet smoke session, I believe, is where he's at. So he's been really cranking those out. No guests tonight. It's just going to be Nicole and myself holding down the fort over here in the Smokin Tabacco studios. So everyone, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
We have a little bit of trade show stuff to cover as we, I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting sick of hearing about it, but it is a big deal. It is like the Super Bowl of the cigar industry. It's, if you're going to the show, I mean, you know what kind of preparation it takes, and like, it's not even just about, like seeing everybody there and whatever. It's an important time. It's an important time for retailers to, to reorganize, what they carry. It's important for us to get the information out to people like you, so that we, what your stores are going to be carrying and what to look for and what to buy, and it's it's good for the manufacturers. It makes them business too. So it's good. And at the end of the day, all the people who go, they pay their dues and their fees and all that. So all that goes to the PCA, which helps, continue the fight, for cigar rights and the all the stuff that goes into that legislation and all that stuff that they do. So it's also like a good cause in a sense too. So it's just a big deal. And so, we have a lot of information, I guess, to share with you guys, both now and after the show. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out. But we'll get into that in a minute. We'll ease into it. Nicole, what are you smoking over there?
So, let's see here.
I didn't mean to
You put me on the spot.
I know. I kind of did.
That's okay. So, my cigar is the Sobremesa Brulee from Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust. And according to twoguyscigars.com, this retails for $13.59 a stick, and a box of 13 will set you back $148.99 for 13 of these. They're really good. I like these as like an everyday kind of light smoke.
Yeah, I have to say that's one of my favorites from Dunbarton. Steve does a really good job, with blending cigars, and not only blending them and making them, but even just marketing them too. He's really good with social media. I got to give him that. He does a really good job, on Facebook and whatnot. He really connects with people.
And he has a lot coming out. So
he does. He has a lot of cool stuff.
He just dropped. So if anyone had ordered the
from the Great Smoke, the DTT EX38 GTS, I think it's called.
Yes, yeah. So that's actually going to be shipped on July 15th from Smokin, if you ordered that. So I know we did. We are looking forward to having them. He has this year's release of the Unicorn coming out.
Yes, only 1,000 sticks were made. And I know that some of his reps had put on Facebook, like, hey, we only have 1,000, yep. So like if your local B&Ms, if they tell you they don't have enough or they didn't get any, whatever, like don't be mad at them. Like this, we don't have that many to give to everybody. So, so I guess keep an eye out for them. They are out there. But yeah, I mean he has teased a special release that will be coming out at the trade show.
The Stillwell
Star. Yeah. So. Yep. We'll have more information on that next week, or maybe not next week, but the following week after the show has, wrapped up. What that'll be and all that.
And he has a couple other trade show releases too.
Yes, he does.
So he has a lot of stuff coming out.
He does. He has a couple of things in the works. So it's going to be very exciting to kind of see, what else he's got in store, because it's always something special. It's always a spectacle,
Of course, with Steve Saka. But for you, what are you smoking tonight?
So I am smoking the Henry Clay Warhawk Toro. And according to our friends at twoguyscigars.com, this cigar for a single will retail for $8.39, or for a box you can expect to pay $185.99, and that is at the number 2 guyscigars.com. This is a I wouldn't say an all the time favorite for me, but this is a cigar that it's one of those cigars that I enjoy, but I forget about. But not because it's like not good enough. It's just we've said this time and time again. There's so many cigars out there, and there's a lot of things on the market that, I've gone through this where there'll be like a handful of cigars that I'm in love with, and like one month or whatever, or for like a season, and all of a sudden I start to try something new, and then I move on to that, and then I move on to the next group of three, and then so on and so forth. So and then I always rediscover cigars that I really like, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this cigar, and I smoke it again, and I love it, and then I smoke it like 5 times. It's just like it's a cycle that repeats itself for me. I have ADD, so it's hard for me to stick on to one thing. I'm not one of those guys who can buy a box of cigars and smoke the whole box like from start to finish, or like 2 boxes and you rotate. Like I buy a box, I smoke like 3 sticks, and then the box sits there for a while, and because I'm just always trying different stuff. So I mean, yeah, I always forget how good these are. But yeah, that's just kind of the way it goes. Everyone's different. Everyone kind of smokes their own pace, their own style. I know I smoke a little bit different than Nicole smokes. We kind of both smoke the same kind of stuff, I would say is fair.
Yeah. There's nothing that I won't touch that's yours, or vice versa. I feel like.
We kind of smoke the same. We have this very similar palate. I mean, obviously not. I mean, there's stuff I don't like and she likes, and vice versa, but pretty close. It's not like you're all mild and I'm all full, or like we're kind of in the same. We're actually all over the spectrum. We predominantly smoke more fuller stuff, more Maduros, or more sun grown, or stuff with a lot more of a rich flavor, whatever that flavor profile will be. But we also will go mild too. We'll go something really light. It just kind of depends on what mood we're in.
And I'm still in that exploration phase, so if I haven't tried it, I want to pick it up and try it. And if I don't like it, well, I'm still going to finish it, because who's going to waste a cigar, right?
Well, I wouldn't call it the exploration phase. I mean, yes and no. I mean, you kind of get to a point where you've explored to a point where you kind of know what's what. You never really stop the exploring phase, so to speak, because you're always trying new things. You're always looking for new cigars. But you're at that point now where you're not trying to figure out what's what. You know what's what. Now you're just like continuing the journey of trying to try every cigar out there. So you've made it.
I'd call that the exploration phase. But
no, I mean, you're always exploring though. It never really.
We can agree to disagree on that.
It never stops. We'll have to talk about it with Coop on Spare Notes.
Guess so.
We'll have to talk. I have to be like Coop. You've been smoking longer than even me. Like, what do you? I'm gonna steal this later from you. What do you think? You should come on with us.
Maybe.
That would be a good conversation. We can argue over whether the exploration phase of cigars ever really stops. Or if any of you who are watching live, comment along with us. Let us know what you think.
And for those of you who don't know, if you're just tuning in, there is now another show under the Smokin Tobacco umbrella that Matt does bi-weekly with William Cooper of Cigar Coop, called the Spare Note series. And it's been on Saturday. I think there's only been 2 episodes so far, but it's going great. And in that show, it's pretty much talking about things that don't kind of fit into either Coop show or your show.
Or maybe not fit in, but
wanted more time to talk about.
Like, we always have ideas of stuff we want to talk about, and a lot of the times we just don't get to them all.
Yeah.
And then the next week is a different show, so there's different there's just different topics or
things that don't fit in with guests.
Yeah, so I mean there's different stuff that comes up, and maybe we don't get to talk about it one week, and then it kind of gets lost somewhere. So I started to kind of collect these things. I was like, oh, these are like good ideas for the show, and then I was like, we're not really getting to them because we're always doing new stuff. So I was like, well, this is good content, so we started another show, just kind of off the cuff. I said to Coop one day, I said, hey, I kind of have some stuff I want to talk about, but I don't really want to do it like on the regular show, just because I want to have time dedicated for this, and I don't want to with the distraction of a guest or whatever. And I want you to be on with me because I want to get your opinion, because Coop's a little bit more on like the media side and stuff like that. And I said, hey, me and you, with your experience, my experience, have a conversation. She's like, yeah, let's do it. And so we did it. Just to kind of air some stuff out, and we were just kind of like, this is cool, so let's do it again. We did it again, and it was good. We got some really good reception on it, so we're like, wow, this is the thing now. So here we are.
Can I tease a couple of things that I saw that you have for next episode?
You can very lightly tease them. You can lightly tease. I don't give away too much. I like to keep it very spontaneous.
I don't know what I can go
Well, not spontaneous,
but teasing is good.
Okay.
A little tease. One of the things that I'm actually interested in hearing about is how many blends should there be in a line?
It's a good topic.
How many blends, how many sizes? Like, how many is too many, right? The Somber Mesa, it comes in 8 different sizes.
Yeah.
So how many is too many?
Yeah. I already want to get into it, but like I don't want to because
I
I got to save that for Coop.
So you're teasing that this is going to be in the spare notes episode.
It's like podcast blue balls, you know what I mean? Like there's something really good there that you want to get into because you're like, man, I have so much to say, but you're like, nah, I gotta wait for the other show, which I do. I want it to be on the other show because that's where it should be, and it'll be really good on that show. So I don't want to steal that. But yeah, there's some other stuff on there.
Yeah,
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away.
Well, that's one topic, but these are the
I'll
topics
tease this.
that are covered.
I'll tease this because I know it's going to offend some people, and I'm not going to bring it up to offend anybody. It's all about opinion, and it's all about...
Ooh, Vince says 4 Max. We're not getting into it now.
I can't comment. You're going to have to watch Spare Notes series with William Cooper. All I'm going to say is I'm going to bring up the topic, and you'll have to watch the Spare Notes or listen to the Spare Notes series if you want to find out. But this was brought up to me. The topic of the cigar poker. You know, the sticks that people use to hold the nubs? That's all I'm going to say. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about them. It came up, and I said, that's like a Spare Notes series.
Are they called nubbers? Is that
I believe that's one slang for them. Yeah, and Orlando Perez is in the chat room, and I know he uses them, so he can clarify. But I believe there's cigar poker, there's nubber, the nubber tool.
I feel like it's you're either for or against it.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna feel it out. I don't think Coop uses it, so I think I know where he I don't use it, but
I've never used it.
I don't want to say too much. We're gonna talk about it, and you'll have to watch the Spare Notes series.
So switching topics for a minute, we do have a question from Orlando.
Yeah.
Who says, so at the PCA show, are they going to give away free sushis?
Sushis.
I think the plural, Orlando, just so you know, is sushi, not sushis.
Yeah, I don't think it's sushis. I guess my joke earlier sucked. Yeah, there's Orlando keeping it fresh. Hello, family. Great to be here again. Okay. Oh, man. Hope all is. Yeah, he definitely keeps it fresh. Orlando, I don't believe they give away free sushi. If that was a typo and you meant samples, that's actually a good topic. You know, a lot of people have asked this question about, oh, when you go to a trade show, they give you samples. They do. Now, the rule is manufacturers retailers are allowed to solicit samples because they need to sample it for the business. And they have tobacco licenses and all this other stuff. But the media, you know, they're not retailers, and they usually don't carry like a tobacco license, like with very few exceptions, like David Garofalo, who has, you know, the Cigar Authority, but he also owns, you know, 2guyscigars.com, 2Guys Smoke Shop, you know. Yes, I mean, he's a retailer who's also in media who has a license, or even Abe Dababna, Smokin, you know, KMA. But for the most part, most of these people, they don't have that, so that the rule has been like, well, if they're media, they're not a retailer, they're not in the sales business. You know, I believe this is the mentality, like, well, they're not really supposed to be asking for free cigars because of FDA stuff. But I believe the loophole, from what I was told and from what I've experienced, you know, over time, is you can't ask, but they can give it to you anyway, and you can be like, oh, well, thank you, but you can't ask for it. People are gonna ask anyway. But
just so you know, I think he was legitimately talking about sushi.
Oh, I know he was. But I figured since the topic was there, I would just touch on it, because I've actually been asked this question. You know, like, well, you know, do you get free samples and stuff? Yes, you do. Now, what I will say is, if you go to the trade show and your goal is just to get free samples, you probably don't belong there, because that's not what the show's about. But if you're really, you know, if you're there to work and to you know, give feedback and stuff, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have samples of stuff coming out. You can, you know, if you're doing, you know, news on it or whatever, it's nice to have that, so you can say you smoked it and this is your thoughts on it.
So for those of you watching, the PCA has been a very hot topic on most podcasts, because most people are going to be attending the show, at least, you know, media presence.
Yes.
So what, out of curiosity, if people would like to chime in the comments, What are you looking forward to the most? Are you looking forward to releases? Are you looking forward to certain interviews? I'm just curious on from the consumer standpoint,
Hmm.
what is the most exciting thing for you?
Yeah, I would be interested to see that too. I mean, for us, it's different. You know, we prepare for all of it, you know, because that's what we do. We got to cover every aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested, you know, everyone kind of wants different things. You know, some
Yeah.
people don't give a crap about the releases because they're like, well, whatever, like it'll come out and I'll try it. I want to hear what people are talking about, or vice versa. Like, I don't care what they got going on. Like, what are they gonna make? Because I want to know what I want to buy. Because I want to get some new stuff this year, and you know what's coming out that's different. So yeah, I mean, people kind of have different priorities on what to expect.
And I know for us, so for me, it's my first trade show, and from the media perspective, our goal is to go to every single booth set up, and there are more than 100 on the show floor, and we are going to take a 5-minute video clip with each booth, just so you guys know what we're doing, and talk about what's new or what they're showcasing. Why are they at the PCA? What are they trying to promote? So, sorry.
I
Did
could
you
have
hear
sworn.
that?
I could have
It
sworn.
sounded like a bird, right?
I could have sworn I saw something over there though. Like I don't know.
Sorry, guys. We have the garage door open, and it sounded like a bird just like flew into the garage. So
I thought I saw something over there too. I was like really quick, something went like that, and I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
Someone's
So,
cat. I don't know.
someone's cat?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not
There
our
could
cat.
be a random animal right now.
Our
How
cat's too
small
afraid
is-
of the door.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he's in the house.
So in the comments, Arlene says new products and new releases. Orlando's looking forward to network and gain more cool friends and be exposed. Oh, yeah. Okay, Orlando. I will get my mind out of the gutter.
Orlando, why does
Um,
everything have to be that way? You know what I mean? Why can't
yeah.
you just say stuff and not assume people are gonna think that it's gross?
So,
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing will be the releases.
Yeah.
Especially for consumers, that it's really the only thing that really affects them. I would say for the most part, they want to know what's coming out, what to buy.
Yeah.
We'll get all that information to you, and a lot of it will be on smokintabacco.com. So, the one thing I will say is, if you're interested in kind of what's going on day to day, make sure you follow us very closely, not only on social media, but on smokintabacco.com. We're going to get that information up there as fast as we can.
Yep.
Probably during the day as we work the show floor, we'll be busy getting that content, but, at some point in the afternoon, I think we're going to try to sit down and take some time to get stuff up as quickly as we can. It'll be hard to do it while we're in Vegas. A lot of it probably won't happen until we return.
Yep.
Just because there is so much information to get out there. But yeah, it is a lot of ground to cover. But we'll get it all out.
Yeah, we're going to try to get it up as fast as possible. I know normally we do this live format, so we're going live right now. It's going to be difficult with the Wi-Fi there to be doing these clips as live clips. I think our goal is to drop a few 5-minute video clips with some of the bigger manufacturers each day to our page. We'll be showcasing that. If we can do a live, we will. I think there are a couple fun ones that we might try with certain manufacturers. I would say there might be a Room 101 live. If possible, we're going to do some of these 5-minute clips as lives and interviews with manufacturers. So
we'll be doing
Yeah.
we'll be doing some stuff with the Room 101 guy.
the guy.
The guy.
The guy.
I know who he is, and I know you all know who he is too. But because of
So,
who he is, I'm just gonna say he's the guy.
And we might check in and do a couple lives with just us walking around the show floor. So it starts next Friday, for those of you who don't know, and it goes like PM-ish, and it goes to Tuesday. So it starts July 9th and goes for 5 days. So there will be a lot going on.
We'll also be using the trip as some vacation time too after the show.
Yes.
We're actually gonna be out there for almost 10 days, so it'll be a long trip.
I'm excited though for our time after the trade show.
Yeah. There's a
So-
lot's going to be happening this year. See, I normally go to Vegas every year. Well, last year I did. We didn't travel for obvious reasons, but so I'm just, regardless of the trade show and all that, I'm just excited to be back in Las Vegas, which I consider another home. It's a city that I love to spend time in and I love to be in, and it's where I will live someday when I retire. So a little bit about me. It'll just be nice to be back out there for me, because I love being out there, and so I'm looking forward to that too. But the trade show obviously it'll be fun, and then we'll have our downtime after, which I think we'll enjoy for ourselves, and I think that'll be a good time. And
What are you looking forward to the most in our downtime? Out of curiosity.
honestly, it's a little weird, but I'm not trying to be like braggy or anything, but
I'm
like
not trying to be
I've
braggy.
been out there so many times. I just can't wait to like show you stuff that's out there,
He's
because
so braggy.
there's like, well, there's stuff that like I know you're gonna like, and I know like where it all is, and I want to like take you to certain places and show you stuff, and have fun.
So I'm excited to see Penn and Teller, guys, because I bought myself and him tickets to go to Penn and Teller. So I'm excited for the magic show.
I'm excited to eat because like when you go out there, like it's no secret like that every celebrity chef has at least like 3 restaurants out there. So I just like to go eat, and the buffets. Oh man, buffets.
I'm not a big buffet person.
No,
I don't even know if buffets are going on with COVID.
I think they are.
Some
Some of
bring
them.
everything back.
I think they did.
Hmm.
The one thing I hope that there is, because when we were in Florida, none of the hotels had room service. I really hope there's room service going on, because especially during the days of the trade show, we might not be able to really go out and eat. It might just kind of be like, let's order room service, eat, and then go back out, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it just becomes like convenient at that point. You know what I mean? Not like I look forward to just eating room service, but like it's gonna be like, can we just like order something and like work on our laptops? We'll eat and then we'll go back down later and mingle. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be going to waste 3 hours every night during the days of the show to go to dinner.
So I'm just scrolling through the comments here, and Dan Thompson said, any thoughts of a practice run tonight in the show of Nicole interviewing Matthew Tobacco playing the role of Matt Booth?
Oh, Dan, don't
Dan,
tempt me with a good fucking time.
We're not going to do this, Dan, because I am going to tease that Matt Booth offered up a bathtub interview to us.
I'm holding him to that. I swear to God.
He actually did. And so
I'm going to text
in
him
his
about that
suite-
tomorrow and be like, just so you know, like you promised me this and like we're doing this.
I don't know if he was being legitimate or not, but we might get a Matt Booth bathtub.
Dude, it's Matt Booth. It's legit.
Booth bathtub
Get him a
interview.
rubber. We'll get him. You ever
A
see?
rubber duck.
You ever see the what's the you guys will probably know what I'm talking about. What's the little meme of Zach Galifianakis in the bathtub with the rubber duck? I'm gonna get that shot of Matt Booth. That'll be the new one. It'll be him with the rubber duck
We're
in the
gonna have
bath.
to buy him like a bag of rubber ducks if he.
Yeah.
So,
I have so many ideas already
so
going.
many.
It gets dangerous, because all these ideas come out and
but regardless, nobody wants to see Matthew Tobacco in a bathtub. Not even me. So.
no. So I mean, but let's let Booth do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
He'll do
That'll
it.
be fun.
He also requested that he gets fed candy.
Oh yeah, I forgot what it was. He requested some sort of Australian candy.
Yes, lollies.
Oh, lollies.
Yeah.
Oh, that was more British, but we'll have to get him his.
I'll talk to him about it. We'll set it up. I'll make sure he knows. Be like, hey, just we're doing a bathtub run, and then maybe John Carney can come in. Oh no, he won't be out there. I'm sorry, I forgot. It would have been cool because then Carney could have come in the bathroom and be like, well, we're all in the bathroom. Let's do a soap review while we're in here, and maybe maybe we'll get Matt Booth to review like a bath bomb. I don't know. There's so many things. There's so many things we could do. So many things we could do.
So.
The wheels are spinning.
Yeah, the wheels. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it on your face. Are you
Yeah, I had a chunk in my mouth. Sorry.
okay?
Yeah, no, I see Trent Smith. Yeah, thank you, Trent. Thanks. Someone cares about my feelings. No one else gives a shit. Yeah, it's gonna be a long week. I mean, I'm already tired. I'm exhausted. A lot of it too, like, we work during the day, and then we come home and then we work on this, and which we want to do. But it's a lot of work. It's tiring. I work 6 days a week, and then, on my free time that I have, we're working on the show, we're working on trade show, we're working on all the other stuff we got going on, making plans, and booking guests, or coming up with content and starting a secondary podcast.
Yeah,
with
this
William
show
Cooper.
today is kind of a nice chill day.
It's a nice break, yeah. Sometimes you need that show to have a little bit of downtime. We get so it's all fun, and when you look back at the best part is when you look back at it too, and you look at all the shows you did and who came on, or just like you look at just the different stuff that you've done. It's fun. I like to do the whole like look back. It's not like nostalgic because it hasn't been like it's not like it's 20 years ago, but like it's like a record of how far you've come, and it's fun to look back on it.
So one more thing to mention, we kind of touched upon it last week, I think. But next Wednesday is going to be our last Wednesday night show.
Yeah, we actually were supposed
Yeah.
to go live last night, but because of some issues with power, we
Yeah.
weren't able to go live. But that's okay. We were already trying to transition to Thursday.
Yep.
Anyway, but next Thursday we'll be at Logan International Airport at this time. So we won't be doing a show. So we're gonna do it Wednesday, but that'll be the last time.
Yep.
Then from there, we do plan to go live, the following Thursday from Las Vegas. I don't know exactly yet. We have a lot of ideas of what we want to do because we'll still be out there, but a lot of other people might be, traveling home or whatever. So
And it will be our post trade show.
it'll kind of be like that
episode.
first show where we're like, all right, well, the show is officially over now, and like this is what we saw, and this is what's cool, this is what we didn't like, and we'll probably talk about it again the week after. But
Did things live up to their hype?
yeah, I mean, this
So-
show has a lot of hype around it too because a lot of the people who I've talked to, have felt like, well, it's a smaller show. The big four won't be there. So Davidoff, General, Drew Estate, Altadas, they won't be at the show. It'll be the first time that they're
Yeah.
not there. There's a good amount of other companies who won't be there for other reasons than the big four. La Flor Dominicana is not going. Casa Cuevas is not going. United Cigar won't be there.
McAuliffe's not going.
McAuliffe won't be there. So there's and they all
And
went
there's
for
more.
different. And they all went for different reasons. A lot of those other companies they didn't go because they just went to TPE and they sold out of everything they had, and it just doesn't make sense to go back to another trade show 2 months later. John has told us that LFD, him and the Gomez's, they made the decision, instead of spending money on resources to go to a trade show to sell product that we don't have right now, let's just save that money and focus it on just trying to get caught up with, inventory and manufacturing from, last year and all that. So, which makes a lot of sense, and that's a good business move. McAuliffe, I think, echoed kind of similar things. They wanted to redirect that funding into, continuing to grow the brand in other ways.
With their people on the, on foot. And,
exactly. So, it's a good
So-
business decision now. And I will say that, those companies have told me personally, like, we still support what the PCA does. It's just, we'll contribute to them in other ways. But, as far as, going out to a trade show to do the whole thing, from a sales standpoint as a manufacturer, it just makes more sense to kind of do with what we have. I mean, like even Steve Saka, he's going to the trade show, but I don't know if anyone really remembers this, but last year he put out on social media, like, we're not signing any more purveyors, or retailers for basic terms, because they wanted to focus on who they already have. They already make so many cigars. He didn't want to make the company too big for what it was.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what? We're not going to take any more retailers in. We're just going to work with
And
what
I
we
don't
have.
think he's still doing that, right? Because I know he has his new releases, but he had echoed before these releases came to light that I'm just going to support so people can see me. He wasn't.
Well, that
There
also
was something
that also
yeah,
could be
and
taken as
I
the
could
people
be-
he already does business with, who maybe he
Yeah.
hasn't seen because of obviously last year. He
Yeah.
definitely did not get around.
I think
to,
that's what he did echo, which was that
I need to see some people now that everyone's traveling around and people are going to come to the show. I want to be there just so that people I already do business with can see me and ask me questions and just be there. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of also looking at too, is just like, well, just even being there just to be present, let people connect with me, who I haven't seen in like 2 years now. So it's again the whole trade show thing with who's going, who's not. For the most part, people are going for business related reasons that are pertain to just like cost and getting themselves caught up. The big four left for other reasons. They left for more political reasons that had to do with specifically the PCA and some other organizations and other products that they sell. I'm not going to get into it right now. Maybe that's something that Coop and I will get into on the other show at some other time, but that's a different story. That's a very specific reason why they're not going. I think because of that though, you're gonna see there's gonna be some different things that happen with those four not being there. You're gonna see people who normally would spend a lot of money at those booths maybe be like, all right, well they're not here, so like they have more time and money to go to other booths and do business with some other people, whatever. I think you're gonna see maybe there's people who don't go to the show because those are primary, brands that they carry and they don't feel it's really worth it. it's going to be a very different show this year. I was talking to Nick Perdomo earlier today and or yesterday, and he was saying like, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a much slower show than usual, for multiple reasons too. I mean, less people going, or the COVID traveling, still not whatever. It will be a smaller, slower show than it normally is, but I think it's still an important show because it'll tell us kind of what we can expect for the show next year. So that's my takeaway on it.
Okay.
How's your cigar doing?
It's doing good.
How's
your cigar doing?
It's good. And again, like I always forget like how much I love these cigars. We got this actually I got in a package from an event, and I saw it in there, and I was like, "Ooh, Henry Clay Warhawk. That's awesome." And I'm glad.
Oh, is that from the smoked event?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Which was cool. That was right here in Massachusetts. Where Nicole and I are from. There was an event. And the Henry Clay was in the goodie bag, and I saw that, and I was like, this is pretty good. I'm glad they put that in there.
Yeah.
It kind of went out on me. I'm trying to get it relit.
Yeah,
if you're listening at home, I'm trying to just get it relit.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I remember the first time I had this cigar. It was actually at another event, which I don't know if they still do. There was another local event, and it was actually two guys I think supplied the cigars, and Ed Santa Maria actually was there, and at the event, and they gave the Henry Clay Warhawk. There was 3 cigars, and I can't remember what they all were, but it was the Henry Clay Warhawk, maybe a Garofalo. There was 3 cigars you got and it was at a restaurant. It was a place called, I think it was. It wasn't Redstone. I can't remember what it was, but it was like an outdoor like restaurant. And it was a restaurant. They had like this outdoor patio that was covered. It was actually really cool. And so they had the whole cigar thing out there, and I remember that was the first time I had it, and I remember seeing it and be like, oh, I've seen this around, but like I don't know. Just never really like thought to give it a shot or whatever. And I remember I tried it first, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Like, and that's a fun thing about you go to these events when you get like the goodie bag.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, like for me, like I always get cigars in there that I'm always like, yeah, I've never had this, or like, nah, this never really seemed interested. But then like I'm like, well, I have it. It was free, so I'll try it. And then I'm like, I'm just like, I feel so stupid. I'm like, I should have tried this like months ago. You know what I mean? Like it's actually really good. I found a lot of really good cigars that way. I mean, I found some stinkers that way, and I won't say who stinkers are. I don't like to let anybody down, but I found some good stuff that way too.
Yeah.
And I think, you haven't been to as many events. You've been to some, but I think you'll find that too. You'll be like, dude, this was in the bag and it's so good. And it's like, yeah, I know, right?
I already do that with our with our own humidors, because we have a lot of event cigars and things. And, sometimes I'll just go through and I'll pick something new that I've never tried. I did that today. When I say it before the show, I'm like, I need to pick something I haven't smoked before. So
I just get, like, I have my favorite brands. And I like to smoke, and I have a lot of them because I stock up on the stuff I smoke a lot, and so I smoke, and then I'm like, it's not that I don't want to smoke it, but I feel like for my own good I should smoke something different, and so I always try to go out of my way and find something, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good, and I'm once in a while I grab something and then I regret it. I'm like, I should have just grabbed X, Y, or Z or whatever I wanted because this one let me down, but. It actually happens less than you'd think. So I'm really happy I grabbed this.
I think that we're almost time to get into our news segment.
We're almost time? Is that right?
Almost time? I think I just messed that up. Sorry, guys.
We are almost time. Is that?
We are almost time. This is what happens when I talk more on the show. So.
Is that how they say it in England?
No.
All right, I'm just checking. Because I mean, you have.
Don't put me on the spot.
Well, you've lived over there and. Where they speak English, but they say it.
English
but they speak English, but they use it differently sometimes. They have different words. They have different ways of arranging the words. It's English, but it's not like we talk. So sometimes I gotta clarify.
You just need to go there.
Well, you can take me.
Okay.
You can be my tour guide of England, the United Kingdom.
I'll just be pointing out green fields. I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't know. You're the one that lived there. You should know something.
I lived in the country.
I know.
I tell you all the time, for those of you who don't know, I lived in England for 7 years, and I lived on a dead-end street between a horse field, a cow field, and a cabbage farm in the middle of nowhere.
A cabbage farm? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a cabbage farm too.
Do you like cabbage?
No, I don't like cabbage.
Does your mom cook cabbage?
Okay. Please stop, Mom, if you're watching. I'm so sorry.
She does watch the show.
She does watch the show sometimes.
From jolly old England.
So I am so sorry.
She's getting so red over. Oh my god.
Anyway.
See, we normally don't have time for all this
I know.
banter. This is nice.
So.
This is nice.
Yeah.
As Matt Booth would go.
Are you ready for news? Do you have it lined up?
I am.
Okay.
I'll let you read it off though.
Oh no. Well.
You never get to.
That's okay. You can do it.
All right.
Boom.
You sure?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
up on screen.
Our news segment brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. McAuliffe Cigars has become an ambassador today. Sign up at McAuliffeCigars.com. You can get your official ambassador coin, as well as you can sign up and do the tasting passport, and you can smoke through all the McAuliffe cigars, save those bands, write down your notes, send it back in. You can be entered to win a handful of interesting and awesome prizes from McAuliffe Cigars. This week I saw something that was really interesting.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of the news this week has just been straight releases. You know, it's the week before PCA, so everyone's like, okay, this is what's coming out. We're going to see it next week. So a lot of the news is all just release news. But I saw one in particular, and I don't usually do cigar release stuff as the news, but I saw one that's interesting because I like the topic. And it's Cohiba Weller Bourbon Collaborative for Cigar. And there is a new Cohiba Red Dot, American, Dominican Cohiba, not Habanos. I feel like I have to make that clear because there's still people who don't know the difference.
People assume, but yeah, so it's the American Cohiba.
But the Dominican one that you can buy here, from General Cigar. They're coming out with a Cohiba that has been blended to be smoked with Weller Bourbon, which I thought was interesting because we're Weller drinkers.
We love Weller.
We love Weller.
We said this earlier on, and we don't mean it to be negative.
What are you going to say?
I just Cohiba out of everyone.
Well,
for this collaboration.
I mean, it's not that they're bad.
They're not bad. Don't get me wrong.
I think
it's not bad, but as someone who loves Weller, and I drink quite a lot of it, anything from Cohiba's current portfolio, I wouldn't necessarily want to pair with a Weller. I
think what Nicole's trying to say is
personal preference.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, I think that General's doing they're trying to really innovate with the Cohiba line and do some bigger and better things, which has been, in the last few years. They've had some pretty interesting releases with it. And I think this is just another step in that direction of continuing to grow and try to elevate that brand to kind of get it to, that higher level where they kind of envision that being, similar to, its Cuban counterpart. When you talk Cuban cigars, you hear the name Cohiba. When it comes to the Cuban portfolio, the Cuban Cohiba is considered, at the top of the Cuban brands. Very high end, very exclusive. If you have the black and yellow band Cohiba, that's considered, a status thing. And I think that the name obviously being the same, I think they've tried to elevate that with its Dominican counterpart and be like, wow, we want to make that name known. So I think this is an interesting move that they've made. They pair it with a hard to find, pretty high end bourbon that they've blended to be smoked and paired well with the Weller bourbon. I'm interested. I'm interested to try it because we have Weller, and I'd love to smoke it, with some Weller and actually have that experience for myself. And
we could actually do a tasting with all of the Wellers, in theory.
Yeah, it's true.
Because we have all of them to see. And, I'm picky when it comes to bourbon and cigar pairings.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all.
So since
that's all I'll say. And we have some comments anyway. Thank you, Jeff. I'm not a brown nose.
So, since we're on the topic, so we're talking about Weller. let's talk about Weller really quick. You and I have had all the Wellers.
Aside from one, the white label.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the only one. But we have had all the other ones.
Yep.
What would you say your favorite is?
Ooh. You know what my favorite one is?
Yeah, but they don't.
My favorite one is the red label, so the Weller 107.
The Antique
The
107.
Antique 107, yes.
It's a
my
good
favorite.
one. It's a popular one. I mean, they're all popular, but I would say it's among the more popular, and it's easier to get than others. I enjoy the 107, but what I have found with weeded bourbons myself, I really like them lower in proof. Just for some reason, I find that the way that they drink has been. Oh, do we miss something?
No, I was.
Oh, you were pointing.
No,
You're distracting me from my rant. You can't do that to me when I'm on a thing.
Sorry, guys.
I'm losing my train of thought now. So, I like the Special Reserve. It's 90 in proof. I find that I like the weeded bourbons lower in proof. Just like I've gone through the Pappy collection, which is a weeded bourbon. For me, it's Lot B 12 year. I could drink that all day. And it's not even just because like it's Pappy or whatever. Like take the name away. I mean, obviously that's a huge factor. When you're going through whether it's cigars like or it's bourbon. When you have these exclusive things, take the name away from it though. And I can't stress this enough because a lot of people are like, well, it's Pappy. Just forget about that for a minute. The experience I had when I first tried the Lot B 12 year, I just remember being like, it's just compared to every bourbon I've ever had, it's got to be my favorite to drink. It fired on all cylinders. It hit all the right notes, like both literally and figuratively. It was smooth. It was complex. It was just well balanced. It was rounded. It was perfect. The way, the finish, the first, when it first hits you, the aftertaste, the finish, the whole thing, the whole from beginning to end, that flavor it carries all the way through. It's smooth. It's just right. I love that. I literally could sit there and drink it. It's so easy to drink. It's so good. Now I remember when I first had it, actually, I put it up against the Weller 12 year. Which anyone who's really into bourbon will argue with you is probably the closest thing you could really pair it to.
Yeah, but they weren't very close.
And they weren't. They were not. And I actually wasn't crazy about the Weller 12.
I mean,
when I first had it,
you have to keep in mind that we probably should give it another chance. And the reason I say that is because we had it against a Pappy.
Very true. Very true.
So then when you're talking about complexity of flavor, it didn't hit those notes because we had something that was a little bit more aged and complex, right? So I don't know.
And then I revisited the Weller line again, and I just, I found the 107 to be, it's good. It's got that hotter punch to it a little bit more. And
I love it.
See, Nicole likes a deeper, heartier bourbon that's real. Like for example, like the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, I did not like. I remember trying it. I was like, it's just it was too much for me. It was too heavy on my palate. But she loved it.
I'm also Irish, and so
you'll drink anything. So I mean that's kind of an anomaly right there. But yeah, at the same time, though, this is also coming from the person who I like barrel proofs. I like Stag. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a Stag Junior and a George T fan, so I have plenty of those and I drink them. And I collect all the different batches, and I like to follow the batches and all of that too. So I do like that, and that's a strong bourbon. You get into 130, 129, whatever proof. But it's a little bit different, when you're talking, it's different mashes, so I like those. But when it comes to weeded, I like it lower in proof, a little softer. I feel like you can really enjoy the flavor more. That's my take on it. Special Reserve. Everyone will say, well, Special Reserve is the easiest to find. Yeah, it is, and I'm happy about that because that's the one I like the most. The full proof, I enjoyed. I thought it was a very good bourbon. I wouldn't discount it or knock it at all. But again, like now you're talking, I think full proof is 114 roughly, I think is what they bottled that at. And again, it was good, but I liked the lower proofs better.
Side note, well, we should do a video of some of our whiskey finds. So one thing that Matthew and I like to do when we go different places, and we did this during our Florida trip, is we like to go whiskey hunting in different states and see what we can find that we can't get in Massachusetts.
Very true.
So
It's part of the game.
we might have to do a side little video during our trip to Vegas on what we find there.
So there's a bottle of something that I have that is made in Las Vegas. And anyone who follows bourbon knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I haven't opened it yet. It's the small batch. And so I plan on going through all of them next week when I get down there, because I know they'll be so much easier to find. And that's the Smoke Wagon bourbon that's distilled in Las Vegas.
We should try to go to the distillery. I wonder if they're
Yeah,
open.
we will. Yeah, we can. We will. That'll be cool. And someone actually got me a bottle of the small batch, and I haven't opened it yet, just 'cause I don't know. I just was saving it, I guess, as I do with certain things. But I'm excited to kind of go through all of them and try them all, and hopefully I can bring some bottles back. If I like anything, I'll bring some back, and that'll be cool. 'Cause again, there's certain parts of the country where certain bottles are easier to find than others.
Yeah.
Just like apparently like the word on the street is that if you really like Weller, specifically the Special Reserve in the 107, you go anywhere in Ohio and you can find it. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've been told. So that's someday I'd like to drive out to Ohio and find out for myself if that's true or if it's just a bunch of BS. So yeah, I mean bourbon's fun, and the one thing I like about it too is it pairs well with cigars. It's. Sorry,
guys.
We had a little something going on. No big deal. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's one of the things I'm excited for too. That in terms of our non-cigar related stuff, that's one thing we'll do. We'll do some bourbon stuff down there. Maybe some tequila stuff. We've been getting into tequila this year. That's kind of been the thing for us. But yeah, Smoke Wagon. That's definitely on the list. It's made there, so that'll be definitely a place of interest.
Absolutely.
I'll
have to check it out. All right.
What was I going to ask you? Actually, I had a question loaded for you, and I just forgot now. We got all distracted.
You got distracted.
Yeah, well, we both did, but for good reason.
Well, they're moving that, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, so I mean, getting back to cigars, I guess, before we get too wrapped up in bourbon. But yeah, that's an interesting release, and I'd love to try that. There's one thing I've talked about that I wanted to do on the show and I have some people that I've talked to who would be interested in it, and who would be kind of interested in being involved. And if anyone, if you guys are listening or watching, feel free to let us know. But doing more like a wine pairing show. Mm-hmm. We've done some whiskey stuff in the past. So that's definitely been something that we've kind of dabbled with. But like another one would be like wine. I want to do a tequila one at some point too. I have some interesting tequilas that I'd like to do. Should we mute this for a second?
No, I don't think it's fine. Maybe. Sorry, guys. Someone is moving a car.
There's a little bit of a family emergency,
Yeah.
so there's a little bit of an urgency to leave the garage tonight. So that's why this normally would not happen, but there's a little bit of a family emergency. So some of the family members have to leave rather quickly.
They're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
I guess I can talk about it. That's fine.
I'd rather not. That's
Okay.
that's kind of our thing.
Right.
So,
All right.
but yeah, I want to do that. I think that would be interesting. Kind of shake it up, make it something a little bit different. I know, especially if it's a wine show, Carney will be all about that.
Yeah.
Carney would be, Andy Yaffe would be in that. Andy likes wine. Steve Poirier likes wine. So that would definitely be a cool show.
I feel like a McAuliffe wine show.
Yeah.
Would be a good pairing.
We could do that.
So.
Even like a McAuliffe whiskey show. Because they do a lot of whiskey.
I know they do whiskey, but I think wine, because Sam would be in his element, and so would like Amanda with whiskey, but like, Andy can get into wine. Steven can get into
Andy,
wine.
Steve, and John
Yeah.
together doing like wine on the show.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would be.
You've heard it here first. We're trying to make it happen. If you're a McAuliffe guy, or a McAuliffe ambassador, rather, I should say. Yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's something we're going to try to put together.
Jeff said we could do a McAuliffe White Claw pairing. I don't appreciate that, Jeff. I love White Claw.
Ooh. Yeah, coming from Jeff, that's probably a stab at the White Claw. I could be wrong, though. You never know. Orlando says, don't hate me, but I like fruity wines. Yeah, see, Orlando, he strikes me as the kind of guy who, like, he secretly enjoys bubble baths. And he's like that guy who he turns off the lights. He lights a candle. Bath's nice and warm.
He's going to have fun in that Vegas hotel room.
Pops open a bottle of, like, a white Zinfandel. Snuggles into the bath with a good book, a glass of wine. And he's like...
Okay, I don't want that image of Orlando. Can we please... Let's move on from this.
Well, I'm just saying, he seems like that kind of guy. You know?
Okay.
He's
Great.
more in touch with the softer side of himself.
Well, I'm so glad that you like thinking of that.
I'm just saying. I mean, I gotta put him on blast. He commented on the thing. I gotta put it out there. That's what we do.
Okay.
You gotta let everyone know this is the kind of guy that Orlando Perez is. They just see his name pop up. They don't know what the hell he does. He's a realtor, sure, but I mean, his specialty is, wine and cigars and being in touch with himself.
I feel like you've had a lot of time to contemplate this, babe.
I read people. That's what I do. Plays Barry White. See, Mark knows. Plays Barry White. Told you. They want to hear this. They're chiming in. They know.
I want no part of this.
I don't know. Mark, I also could see him being a Marvin Gaye kind of guy. You know what I mean? I could see that. Although, I don't know. Orlando is like secretly a little more like kind of like punk rock a little bit. I mean, a lot of people don't know he's got a lot of tattoos. He rocks the Converse. You know what I mean? He's got that edgy look to him. A little bit like Matt Booth.
He says you read me wrong, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's just him trying to cover it up. I don't know about that. We'll find out. We'll see you next week, Orlando. I'm gonna do an in-person, in-depth analysis of how you really are behind the camera.
Maybe we'll have to do a little live with Orlando.
We will.
Week.
You know what? We will.
Yeah,
we will
guys,
do a
we
live.
are meeting Orlando in person next week. So
I know.
We have to document it.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting. We actually, and that's the cool thing too. Like, we actually get to meet some of these interesting characters that we've met, virtually in the last year. We actually get to meet them in person and see, like, you really like this, or is this something you do online? It's always fun. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a long week. You know what it is? I'm excited to finally have some like away time. I like to travel. You know what I mean? I like to get away from home and just take my mind elsewhere. Get a little rest and relaxation too. But it's also like I know that like half of it's gonna be like busy, and then like I don't get the rest and relaxation part till after, and I need their R&R now. So it's like it's even further away. It's like we're going next week, but I really won't get that.
I know. And for those of you, we went to Florida, like 6-7 weeks ago. But that trip, we bounced from Miami to Orlando to Tampa, back to Orlando, and we were all over the place. So we got no downtime.
And we stopped at small places in between too. I mean, we were in Delray, Hollywood, Boynton Beach. We were everywhere.
We were just trying to see as much as we could. I mean, granted, we went to cigar shops all day, so like that was a partially vacation, but we were also running around. And I know when I have time off, I like to have 1 or 2 days to just unwind and relax. And we do have that planned at the end, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm not making that mistake twice. I'm gonna have some recreational
I want a day
days.
Sitting by the pool. We're renting a nice car for a couple days.
I'm really excited to just like spend a night just drinking and gambling in the casino. Because it's so mindless, and it's just kind of like get my drink on.
What's your game of choice?
It would be poker, but I don't know if I'm going to have that kind of time with you. Because that's long.
Because of me.
Well, yeah, I mean...
You can do whatever you want. I'll go shopping.
Yeah, I know, but you can only do that for so long, and then you're like, all right, like, are we gonna wrap this fucker up or what? And I'll be like, I'm in the
You can do
middle
whatever
of a
you want.
streak, you know what I mean? So I'd keep it short, probably blackjack. 'Cause I like card games. I'm not a big slot guy. I don't really get into craps. It's really not my thing. I like to play with cards. So for me, the first choice would be like a Texas game. You sit me down at the Texas table for a while, I'm good to go. If I have time, maybe I'll dabble into that.
See, I like roulette.
Roulette's fun. Like, I like roulette, but
Yeah.
that for me, that's like recreational gambling. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like mindless.
Isn't it all recreational gambling?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean, though. It's just kind of like, I don't really care what happens with roulette. You know what I mean? It's fun though. I'll play roulette with you.
Jeff says it sounds like he is asking permission.
Mm-mm.
No, he's not asking permission.
I don't need permission. It's just I don't want to,
For those of you watching, I think you can take a guess on who the clingier one is in this relationship. And it's not me.
It's her.
It's not me.
Yeah, because and the reason why I said that is because I already know. I already know what would happen. I would be like, I'm going to go do this. And you'd be like, okay, go ahead, bye-bye. And we'd be like, I'm going to be gone for a while. Okay, bye-bye. And then like 3 hours in, you're going to be like, are you done yet? Like, I'm hungry. And I'll be like,
no.
I told you I'd be gone all day. Well,
I'll be at the pool.
All right, fine.
Or gambling. Or shopping.
I'll leave you at the pool.
Or at the cigar bar. Like, I'll be bye. I don't need you.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Okay.
But when I win like a good chunk of money, I'm spending it on myself.
That's fine.
Okay, fine.
Just remember, you owe me a birthday present.
Mm-hmm.
It's my birthday this weekend.
No, come on, be specific.
It's my birthday on the 4th of July.
Boom, there it is. There it is. Very special. That's a special day.
It's not.
You share that birthday with America.
I am so patriotic, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I already told Nicole, I'm like, look, like, I know your birthday is this weekend, so we're going to celebrate and all that, but like, I was like, you know what, if it's okay with you, we're going to be in Vegas like 4 or 5 days later. Can we like do like more of a more fun celebration of your birthday when we get out there? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So we'll don't worry, we're going to celebrate. It'll be a great time. We'll have champagne and I don't know. Maybe Orlando will come hang out with us. We'll do like a crazy like all-nighter with Orlando. We'll get lost in Las Vegas. But like The Hangover. A birthday you'll never forget. And then you do.
I like Orlando, but sorry, Orlando. I don't want to get lost with you in Las Vegas, so. I don't want to get lost with him in Las Vegas.
Wow, that says a lot. Something tells me, though, that this trip to Las Vegas is going to be very special for you.
Is it?
I think so. I have some surprises I can't share with you. I just think it's going to be cool.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Go in with low expectations. Because it makes how do we say this? It won't be bad, but go in with the low expectations so that when like these few things that I'm gonna like kind of do with you, you'll be like, wow, it'll be huge. Don't go in there be like, oh, something big's gonna happen, and then it like deflates. I probably shouldn't even say anything, but
Yeah.
I want to see
I don't
that.
like surprises, so.
I want to see that pop factor. You know what I mean? I know you hate surprise. That's why I like to really get you on a good surprise, because it really it pops that like, oh, I don't really care, I don't like surprises. Then you do, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so surprised. And I'm like, yeah, you hate surprises too. So I always got to go a little bit above and beyond with you, because it's what's going on here. No offense, but do you say that a lot? Go in with low expectations. How do I respond to this? No. I know what you're getting at. Go fuck yourself, Jeff. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Response.
I know what he's getting at. Trust me. There's nothing to have low expectations about in that department.
Wow.
It's the only time I'm going to comment on it on the show. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, because I'll never bring it up again. Anyway, so yeah, I think there's some things that you don't know about that are going to be fun.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, you will.
And when I'm disappointed, I'll make sure to share it with you all.
Oh, absolutely. You should. You should write a whole page report on the website and just be like, this is what was surprised. Like, let the whole world know. Be like, and I was let down. And if you do that, I'll let you smoke through any box that we have. Well, that I have that, is special. You can have anything you want in there. That'll be the bet. If I let you down, I know what you're going to say, but you know that there's some things that really are.
But you know I could just smoke anything anyway. And
not necessarily. There are things that are just mine that you know that I have from, like, that I have tucked away that, whatever. I'll give you any box that you want from the special, my own personal special collection.
I don't want anything.
Are you sure about that? You sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can take whatever I want, just so you know.
Really?
Audience, so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What?
Interesting.
What do you mean interesting? You don't want to get into a discussion with this on air, do you?
Why not? I mean, this is not the time or place. This is not these people's problem. But, I'm just saying. There's some things that I do have tucked away that, like, I acquired and I said we're not touching this. And it's in the back where we don't touch it right now. But. Yeah, but there's some things.
There's, like, one thing.
There's, like, three. There's, like, three or four.
Like, one.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make a bet with you. And you're trying to change the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's not working.
You could have just been like, yeah, okay. And just been in on it. And if you're so confident that you're going to be let down, why wouldn't you just accept the bet and then just be like, well, I'm going to get it. If in your mind you're going to get it either way, why didn't you just accept the bet?
Because it's a stupid bet.
Crazy. All right, so here's the thing. So if I do get you and you're surprised, it's like, oh, shit, no, you got me. What do I get? And don't say nothing. Because that's a dick move. You gotta give me something. So if I do blow you away on something.
What do you want?
I don't know.
Well, think about it.
I will. I'll get back to you. Because I know how you are with surprises. It takes a lot to get you, but I think I'm going to get you this time.
I don't think so. I'm a smart cookie, and I figure a lot out.
We'll see about that. I don't know. I might have stumped you this time. So how long have you guys been married? We're not married, Jeff. That's another thing. I feel like I need to say this. We're not married.
Nope.
And not that it's a bad thing, but we're not married. A lot of people always like, oh, you and your wife. I'm like, Nicole's not my wife. We're not married.
Nope.
We're just hanging out.
We're hanging out.
Hanging out. That's the casual way of saying that we're just dating. We're pretty close. I mean, we have a really tight relationship for just a dating couple, I would say. I mean, we live like a married couple, but we're not married.
No, I'd say we're like best friends too, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess, when you don't annoy me.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
When you, yeah.
I don't know. I'm still on the test drive, though. I don't know. There's a couple of manufacturer's defects that I didn't notice right away. That I'm,
Same.
Cup holder's a little too small, and there's a little ding in the door that I didn't see, in the sunlight when I first got in. It doesn't have the entertainment package that I really wanted, but maybe the dealer can throw that in. I don't know. There's still, there's some. I don't know. I gotta think about it. I gotta crunch some numbers and see if it works.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Well, I guess at least we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting week in Las Vegas. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Matt, you were about to get punched, dude. Shut your Boston mouth. I know my limits, Vince. I know my limits. That's all I can say. That's all I can say on that. It was sarcasm. Jeff, I know. Come on, man. You gotta play into it. You can't just.
He's lucky because I have a good sense of humor.
I know. This is getting pretty deep. It is. See, this is what happens when John leaves us unattended.
I know.
We start to just get into our personal lives. John would steer us away and be like, "Let's not get into that." But he'd rather be doing Hacking Gourmet tonight, which is fine.
I will say is that I could probably make Matt cry quicker than he can make me cry.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, I can.
I don't know about that. I beg to differ.
No, that's fine.
So, By the way, I wanted to ask you: are you gonna touch that cigar up, or
What do you mean?
it's burning a little uneven?
Okay.
Are you a
You're gonna
touch?
shit on me?
No. Are you a touch upper, or there's so many debates on this whether you should touch up
Honestly,
a cigar or not. I love that debate too, because I'm like, well, why wouldn't you?
because you're a perfectionist. I'm not. I just want to smoke the cigar.
Well, what if it's not burning correctly? It ruins the experience.
It'll even itself out.
Will it?
In my case, yeah. In
All
my
right.
history.
Okay. That's fine then,
Okay.
if you feel that
Are
way.
you gonna like watch me with a microscope?
No, I'll let you do your thing. I'll let you do your thing. What time is it, by the way?
It is
8:06.
8:06.
Wow.
8:06.
The
Vince sports segment, Nicole.
I was going to say licky,
Ah.
really? Yeah. See, a lot of these people get all excited. They type too fast. They say things, and it turns into a whole thing. Then Orlando gets involved, and then it becomes a whole nother thing. And it's like a sub conversation in the comment section. I don't know. Actually, there is no sports segment.
Yeah.
No sports segment. Sports
Yeah.
segment's done for a while.
Canceled.
Canceled. No more sports. So, but hopefully
Yeah.
there's a new segment coming.
Mhm.
I can't say too much about that, but there's a new segment coming. Maybe with someone else actually. But that's all I'm gonna say. I'll save the I'll save that for another show. Listen, I think that I'm at a point where I'm gonna finish up my cigar. I'm gonna go have my glass of whiskey for the night, and I'm gonna get myself tucked into bed. It's been a long day.
Snuggled.
It's been a long week. There's so much going on. This show kind of got away from us too.
It did. Sorry,
We
guys.
we were left unattended. That's how I'm gonna say it.
It's what happens, but you know what? It's a nice chill episode. We don't have a guest,
Mhm.
right?
So I call it
next
free for all.
week- Yeah, it's a free for all. Next week we will be like kind of heavy talking about the PCA more. We just didn't want to bore you guys with 2 weeks in a row of that, especially because a lot of podcasts are kind of honing in on it. Nothing there, just sure you're sick of hearing about it.
The other thing I wanted to say though, while we're on the air on a serious note, we want to, we love the people who you watch the show and you comment along, and we really appreciate that. We love that. All the guys who are watching and commenting, that's great. It really adds to what we do, and without that, the show would just be us talking to nobody. So thank you guys for that. But also too, if you guys really if you guys have anything else that's interesting, even for those who are listening at home who are not watching live or not commenting along, feel free, honestly, just to send us a message. You can email me at either one of us. Our emails are pretty easy. It's just Matthew or Nicole at smokintabacco.com. That's SMOKINTABACCO.com. You can also find our information or contact us through our
That's
website.
right. Yeah.
On the website you can find us, our contact. So yeah, if you want to send us an email, questions, comments, concerns, things you want to see on the show, it doesn't even have to be like a question or anything that you want us to talk about, anything like that. Write into us. We want to hear from you. It helps us, or creates more content. Sometimes there's stuff out there that people want to hear or talk about that maybe we didn't think to get to or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, write into us. Let us know what you guys are thinking. We'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, whatever. My hope is we can maybe start reading those on the air too. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Don't be shy.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
gonna
be
say
shy.
that.
Whatever it is, just email us. Questions, comments, concerns. Send them right in, and we'll bring them up on the show. But before we wrap up, anything else you got?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
No, I'm tired.
Yeah. You've already been pretty chatty tonight. You're normally not this chatty.
Because you don't let me get a word in.
See, you say that, but what you don't understand is it's not about anyone not letting you get a word in. You just gotta make your voice heard. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. That's the lesson I learned when I first got into podcasting.
I prefer to just.
I was
sit
I was
back.
kind of quiet. I didn't say much, and then I'm just like, you just gotta get in there.
That's what she said.
I knew you were gonna do it. I knew it was coming too.
Have to.
That's
All
like the joke with her dad too. Her dad's really good on that too. It's always like, that's what she said. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And then I laugh with them, and then everyone else like, you're not funny.
Yeah.
Out of her and her brother, I'm the only. I'm obviously because it's their dad, but I think her dad's hilarious, and her and her brother will just be like, oh, so funny,
Because I've heard
dad.
his jokes all the time.
They're good though.
Yeah, but when you've been hearing them for almost 30 years, you just.
Yeah,
You're
but
over it.
I don't know. It's not so much the joke too; it's also the delivery. He's got good delivery on his jokes.
Yeah,
That's half the battle.
debatable.
I wish I could get him on the show sometime. That would be awesome. He
No.
won't do it though. He won't try any of our whiskey. He won't try a cigar. He always asks like he's interested in it, which is cool, but like he doesn't ever want to try it.
Wait, hold on. My brother did get him to try whiskey. So he is a Canadian Club or Seagram's
Oh yeah,
ginger ale guy.
I forgot about this.
And last week, my brother got a bottle of Weller Special Reserve, and he mixed it with ginger ale. And it was the saddest thing.
It's like, why would you do that?
Why?
And he's like, well, that's the only way Dad would drink it. And I was like, damn it.
What a waste.
Actually, though, what was funny though,
And he still didn't like it.
he still didn't like it. But it was funny because he was like, he had like one mixed drink of Weller and ginger ale, and it put him down for like a 4-hour nap. He was like, after that, I was done. I went to bed. I'm like, wow, at least we know how to put him to sleep. But no, that's all I got. You know, it was a fun show. It was a little different. It was a little more casual. You know, no guests, no John, just the two of us hanging out. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Wednesday is our final Wednesday show. So,
Yep.
you know, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. But it will be our last Wednesday show. And from there on out, we'll be back to Thursdays, which is it just kind of works better for us that way. So
And Thursdays at 7 because we used to be at 8.
yes, that's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
So Thursdays at 7.
yeah, we'll still be at 7 o'clock. But that's it. I think we're going to sign off,
Yep.
finish our cigars, and we'll see you guys next week. Take
See you
care.
guys.